All right, everybody, welcome into another edition of the Mark O'Brien Show here at Coosa Christian. And Coach, we got another week of playoffs we get to talk about. Last week you guys had a very good game against Hackleburg and executed pretty well offensively. I know Teddy and them was not too happy defensively. I sat in with them with film, and they wasn't a happy bunch of guys. But before we get into all that, Coach, how you been?
I've been good, buddy.
You out of being under the weather, ain't you?
I'm out of being under the weather. I feel pretty good.
That's good. No more trips out of town, Coach, during the season.
No more trips out of town. We got to stay locked in.
We got to stay locked in. No more trips out of town.
That's right.
Coach, this week got an interesting week coming up. From all intensive purposes, it looks like we're going to get some rain. And just dial it into this week. Talk to us a little bit about Hackleburg first, and then we're going to go in and talk about your upcoming opponent, which is Pickens.
We really wasn't happy with the way we played Friday. It was horrible. Left too many touchdowns on the table, too many touchdowns called back from, guess what, our favorite thing, penalties. We've had over 450 yards in penalties this playoffs.
What?
Yes.
450 yards?
In penalties this playoff run.
Wow.
And it's disheartening, and I don't know what to tell these guys, man. They don't get it. I hope they get it.
450 yards.
Yeah.
You're talking 4.5 football field lengths,
yes.
Entire football field lengths,
yes.
And penalties.
Yep.
Whew, I didn't know that. What are we getting, some grass drills on the back end of that, or what?
We've tried everything. Anybody on the camera that's got any good ideas, hit me up.
You may have to go back to some of the Bud's techniques, some of the things you did there.
Yeah, they don't want none of that.
Yeah, that might wake some people up. What do you think causes that? What is it, just lack of focus or what?
Sometimes I think it can be too much effort.
Going too much?
Yeah, just going too much. And some of it can be lack of effort. It can get complacency. It can be a number of things. And, it's just, it's really a hard thing to nail down. But I just hope we can fix it.
What's interesting about that is how you've reached out and been, befriended the officials here, Jason Hayes or, and others that when you come in, have them come in, work camps and all,
yep.
And they teach the game, they tell
yep.
what they're looking for. For the kids to still be having that going on, that's kind of disheartening.
Well, guess what, Bo? That ain't worked.
That ain't worked, has it?
It ain't worked. We're still getting flagged.
Yeah, that ain't worked. I thought that would help, though, because they actually tell the kids, what they're looking for and, how to approach the game.
We need to drop our Coosa Christian conqueror to the Coosa Christian flagman.
The flagman.
We'd be better off.
The Coosa flagman.
Yeah, we'd be better off.
We need to put in a proposal for that.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
You tell Jack, bring that in front of the board. Let's do a vote on it.
Yep.
The Coosa flagman. All right, Coach, so this week, I don't have to tell you, anybody watching this video, who the opponent is. It's Pickens County, and lots and lots of you guys watching this video was at that game last year and coming up just inches short. I think it's kind of helped motivate this team in the offseason. This is just me speaking. This ain't you speaking, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. But anytime you lose a game like that, it's got to be motivation heading into that next season to try to get not only a shot at them, but to go that next step. But how has the guys' approach been this week, knowing that you're playing that team that you ultimately lost to last year?
Well, that's something we've really never mentioned about that. I've told many people this, like, we lost, okay? You win some, you lose some in life. It's not how many times you lose, it's how many times you get back up. And it just happened, the ball bounced in our way, and so we're getting the opponent that we lost to in the semifinals again. So but the focus of the practice has been great this week.
One thing that's a big, big difference is you're hosting this one, and that's been a blessing to have 3 playoff games at home. Talk about that a little bit.
3 playoff games at home to be a 3 seed. How about that?
It's pretty weird, ain't it?
Pretty weird.
It's good Lord shining on you, Coach.
Well, it's could be poetic justice. It could be the good Lord.
Could be both.
Could be both. But I believe we're the only 1A team, and 1A, it's gotten 3 playoff home games.
That is pretty phenomenal.
So that's pretty cool. Sure.
Coach, being able to host that one here, last year that was a tough loss, but it's an even tougher ride, back. I remember I rode in a car full of Conqueror fans on the way back home. It was a tough ride home, but win, lose, or draw, playing at home is always fun. And talk about this community and how this experience has not been experienced in the city of Gadsden since 2009. And before that, it was 98 with Gadsden City and Etowah, or Gadsden High at the time in Etowah. So 2 times this whole decade, or this whole millennial, since the last 25 years, that the game like this, of this magnitude, has been in the city of Gadsden.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I'm really proud of this community. They've embraced this process that we call Coosa football, and it's grown exponentially. And so none of that really matters, though, until you go and take care of business. And, it's nice to have the fans involved for sure. It's nice to have a crowd involved for sure. It's nice to have support involved for sure. But at the same token, you still got to win. Yeah. And so none of this matters if you don't win.
Yeah, but what happens between those white lines is ultimately what's going to clarify this game.
That's right.
Let's turn the all eyeballs and thoughts inward on Coosa. Let's not talk about Pickens at all, but what does Coosa have to do in order to be successful in this game?
Well, what have we been talking about?
The penalties.
There you go.
That's first and foremost.
We got to clean it up, man. It's got to be done. It's ridiculous. And I bet you we've had more than 10 to 15 touchdowns called back this year. I bet you I'm right.
That makes you want to throw up as an offensive coordinator.
I know we've had at least 6 or 7 called back in the playoffs. So I bet you we're north of 15.
15 touchdowns.
Yeah. For the year.
That's tough.
Yep.
Yeah, that definitely got to have to clean up because, if you're fortunate enough to win this week, next week, you're going to play some monster that you're going to have to play really good to beat out of the South.
Yep.
Man, that's tough. I don't know the secret.
I don't either. Maybe
you got a lot of good friends.
Maybe someone on that camera is watching that has some secret, and they'll let us know.
You got a lot of good friends in the coaching world. I don't know, like from John Gross to Rush to, there's so many of them out there. They ain't got no rhyme or reason either, do they?
Nope. Trust me, I've already called them.
That's rough. I don't either. I'm pretty good on PlayStation. I can control the penalties on there.
Yeah.
I just
turn the penalties off, right?
That's right. You can, and fatigue off. So then you're really good.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know, Coach. Any other thoughts before we close this episode down?
No, it's just going to be a really unique experience. I think this is the first time this millennium they've been back-to-back semifinal.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, ain't no doubt.
And that's huge, for this county because this county forever was a blue blood county in football. And it's not been a blue blood for a long time. And so it's really cool that we've got a back-to-back semifinal team.
Yep.
But again, none of that matters if you go home a loser.
That's right. Yep, just getting here is not the goal.
That's right.
So, yeah. Coach, we appreciate you, brother. We're going to shut this episode down. And God willing and the big man upstairs wants it to happen, we'll be back here with another edition next week talking about the state championship games.
Awesome.
Oh, not putting the cart ahead of the horse, but you guys would play Thursday of next week, right?
Correct.
So everything would get bumped up and travel?
Yeah.
Okay.
At 3.
At 3 p.m. On Thursday. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that would change things, but I think our show would just have to film it a little earlier.
Yep.
Because I'm sure you'd probably travel on Wednesday, wouldn't you?
Tuesday,
y'all just get a room down there? Mm-hmm. Well, Pastor Scott Wright's going to have to preach early then, ain't he?
He sure is.
There we go. All right. All right. Well, we're going to shut this episode down, and God, like I said, God willing, we will be back here with another edition of the Coach Mark O'Brien Show next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.